Okay, guys, welcome. I am so excited. This is Jenni Oates, and I am very excited to dive into what is going to be an incredible training today with each one of you. And we've got a bunch of people on, and we are going to have some fun. So I hope you have grabbed some pen and paper. And what today is all about is really setting you up for success in your business. And there's obviously a lot of things that take part and take place of being successful in building a doTERRA business. But today, this is what I love. I love to take our business and I love to chunk it down into bite-sized pieces where it feels like I can handle that. I can handle this 1 week at a time, and that is how we've built a successful business. We've been doing this. I've personally been in network marketing now for 16 years. I built a business early on and had some measure of success. I got frustrated as a new mom. I had 3 kids back-to-back in 3 years. I ended up going on to have a 4th in about 6 years. And in that period, somewhere dirty diapers and laundry overwhelmed me and overtook my life, and I decided I needed to step back, and I pulled back. But honestly, it wasn't just the kids. It wasn't just all of that, because our most amazing leaders on this team are building this business with their children on their ankles or eating paper out of their office. I do strategy calls with Faith Hill, and her daughter is pulling magazines apart and eating the paper. And with Ashley, she's got like 2 little teeny babies, and she's running around, she's feeding. She's probably usually doing about 10 things at the same time while we're talking. So it wasn't really that for me. What it came down to, what I would call my lack of success, because I did have a measure of success. My biggest paycheck at that season of my life was about $500. And for me, though, that wasn't what I wanted. What I wanted was to really bring in a more full-time income. So when I say lack of success, it's based purely off of my goals. So for some people, that is your goal, and that would be success. For me, it was very different. We were living off a pastor's salary, and we were living in one of the top 10 most wealthy counties in the entire nation, in Palm Beach County. And on a pastor's salary, it was not working for us. And so I wanted to bring in a ton more, and I couldn't do it. And what it came down to was I didn't have a system, and I didn't have the skill set, and I didn't have the mindset. Nobody had taught me any of this. I was 20 years old. I graduated college early, coming out of college, starting my business. I didn't have any of those 3 things in place. I had the mindset of an athlete, so I knew perseverance. I knew hard work. I knew how to get to the top of what I felt confident and competent in, but this was an entire new arena for me. So here we are, 16 years later, about 8 years after that first experience, we relaunched and started again, and now we have been so blessed to see what I would now call where we have hit goals and measure the success that we have wanted. And it's because of having the right mindset, having the right skill set and the tool set, and learning how to actually establish and build a team. And we have the most incredible team. I brag on you guys all the time. We have the most incredible team in doTERRA. We have so much fun. We work hard. We work with integrity. We work with character. Each one of you is just amazing in of your own right, and it's just been so much fun. So what I'm going to give you today is that. I feel like it's those missing elements that I didn't have starting my business out. So a lot of you are starting your business out right now, and you're wanting to jump in this next month. And so what I think you need is this roadmap. What your leaders believe that you need is a roadmap. So we've put our heads together, and we've got this roadmap that we use as a team. Our company is really adopting this roadmap, but I've thrown several things that our team has really been walking through the fire with, trying and testing and tweaking and making it even better. So a lot of this stuff is just, it's tips, it's tricks, it's things that are coming from the leaders that have probably invited you to this training today, this business. So here's where we're headed. This is a big thing for me. I've realized in my business as I've been building, I can't hit a target if I don't know what the target is, if I don't know what I'm aiming for. And some of us are like, well, duh, that makes sense. But we don't really live our life that way, and we don't really build our business that way. We run around like chickens with our heads cut off. So today, we're calling this your pre-launch week. This is today. And what you're going to get out of today is an overview of our Share Success system and a clear overview of the Elite in 6 Weeks program, every week that we join together for the next 5 weeks, we're going to have weekly action steps. Overview today of Share Success System, Elite in 6 Weeks program, and then weekly action steps. Every single week that we join together. So if you want to plug in, you are going for Elite in 6 weeks. But what we're doing, we're actually going to condense this for you and break this down to 4 weeks. We're going to say Elite in 4 weeks. And so over the next month, we're going to map out for you every single week what you can expect and how you can really grow and build your business. So week 1, we're going to really dive into sampling and inviting. That's going to be the very first week that you're launching off. That's coming up next week. So join back in with us, same time, same place each week. But in between, we're going to be giving you, we're going to have at the very end, you'll see a special Facebook group that we have. We're going to be making sure that you have tips and tricks, and we're going to have leaders that are going to be jumping in there, giving you some Facebook Live videos and some different training things. Okay, week number 2. is going to entail launch week class tips. Week number 3 is hosting class tips, and week number 4, we're going to be diving into finishing Elite strong and prepping for month 2. Because we don't want to just build to Elite 1 month and not hold it. We want to have you have a solid, stable business of Elite month after month after month, building to Premier, building to Silver, building to these other ranks depending on what your goal is. All right, so this is our overview for where we're headed. So today we're breaking all of this down in bite-sized pieces. If I was to fire hose you with everything that you're going to be doing for the next 5 weeks, you'd hate me and you'd probably quit this business tomorrow. So hang with me. If you've heard a little bit of this information before, I want you to try to hear it with new lenses and new eyes and hear it from the angle of this is a roadmap. This is your roadmap to success, and I cannot stress this enough. Some of you have asked me before, do you really do this? Is this really what you do? And my answer is absolutely. I do this over and over and over and over. I stick to the system, I keep it simple, and I just do it myself, and I do it with other people over and over. So that is why I want you to hear it this way, and because we don't want to overwhelm you. We're super excited that you are going for Elite, and we don't want you trying to bite off that whole apple at the same time. We're gonna do it one bite at a time. Okay, so as I mentioned, one of my struggles jumping into the business early on was mindset. I didn't have the right skill set. I didn't have the right tool set. So for me, it didn't equate to success. It did not equal up to having a successful business, and it was a struggle for me. So I'm going to give you these 3 things right now. This is what you need to be successful in the next month in your Elite in 6 weeks training and program. Okay, number 1 is mindset. When we look at mindset, obviously there's all these qualities and characteristics that each of us hopes that we possess and wishes that we had, but you're going to need some things over the next month. And over the long haul of building your doTERRA business, you're going to need courage. You're going to get some no's. You're going to need some persistence. You're going to have to learn to overcome, and you're going to have to learn to stand strong in the midst of struggles. And you're going to need a high belief level. When it comes to your belief level, it's almost like if you can see this pyramid here, there is a foundation that you start with. I think in the beginning of all of our businesses, our belief level has to be really, really strong around the product. We have to know that the products work. We have to have those product experiences ourselves. And then around the company. And as you progress through each of the ranks, if you can see this through Premier and Silver, Gold, and Platinum, at the Premier level, your belief is being built around the company and even the opportunity. You're starting to see it. You're starting to see that blossom in your business, and you've got some leaders under you now. As you get to Silver, there's a shift that happens. You become your own leader, and you become a leader to where your belief has to increase in yourself. And then at Gold and Platinum, it's a whole nother level of leadership and belief level. You have to believe that you can lead. So belief level is super important. It starts at the foundation with elite and product and works all the way up to as you're hitting blue and presidential, your belief level increases around your influence. Can I really do this? Can I influence the type of leaders that I need to bring on to actually hit some of those upper levels? And so in addition to belief level, obviously there's personal growth and development. Each of these things that you're looking at, whether it's courage and persistence, it's integrity, gratitude, love, and obviously belief to progress through these ranks, it's going to take some personal growth and development to get you there. That is one thing that you hear us preach about on this team over and over and over is personal growth and development. But the key with that is none of us arrived there yesterday. We want to be, but it takes time. It's a process. So as you're developing personally, you're going to be able to progress through this ladder and through all the way up to this influence level that you want to be at to be able to build a business that you want. Okay, let's talk about skill sets. So mindset is important to have belief around those things, but let's talk about the skill sets. I'm just going to highlight this. Again, I'm giving you a roadmap today so that you know what our team and what the system is and what we're built on. We are built on this really simple acronym called PIPES, everything that we do. So the skill sets that you're going to be learning from myself and from your team leaders through our private Facebook group that's for our elite training that we're launching here this next month. All of these things are going to be centered around our PIPES acronym. So prepare, invite, present, enroll, and support. And I'm not going to linger here because that's what the following weeks are for. Today I'm giving you the overview, that preparation. It's all about the plan. Today is really, it's a planning day. I'm preparing you for the month ahead, for this elite launch that you're about to do. As I mentioned, personal development is an ongoing preparation. It's a piece of what you need to be doing. And attending trainings. We have weekly Monday night training calls. You should be receiving mentoring. If you're really building this business, you need to be involved in preparing every single week through a strategy session or a mentoring session with your leader. Or if you don't have a leader that is really actively building the business or involved in the business really at all, maybe somebody introduced you to doTERRA and you don't really know the person above you. If you reach up far enough, you will find somebody that will support you. And so that is part of your preparation. Inviting. I'm not going to get into all the nitty-gritties of this because this is actually one of our weeks, but inviting is a skill set that you're going to be learning about. Presenting. We're going to do some presenting this next month with our elite launch. We're going to do some really cool presentations with the Natural Solutions class. It's going to be really simple. We're going to make it really simple for you. We have a really cool training video coming out for you on something that I learned as a key to presenting because I was the most terrified of them all. I hated speaking in front of people. And now it's something that I've done hundreds and hundreds and even thousands of times, and I love it. And so you too can get to the place where presenting is not fearful for you, or maybe you're not afraid, but maybe you're not as effective at presenting as you want to be. And we're going to help you with that. So we're going to give you the skills and the training that you need to really nail this thing. Enrolling. This is part of our PIPES training as well. This is all part of our system. Enrollments have to happen. This is the engine of your business. There's things that we'll be training you around specifically. This is kind of like an ongoing enrollment mindset, having 2 follow-ups today and all these things, but we're going to be giving you some very specific action steps in order to hit elite in 6 weeks. So we're going to make that really clear for you. Support. You've got tons of support. Let me tell you, again, when we started, I had nothing. The first time I started, there was zero system. There was zero training. I had a ton of nutritional support. I did not have business support. I did not have trainers and mentors and anybody telling me what to do. So I had to figure it out myself and actually create the system that our entire company ended up running on. And so you guys have a lot of things at your fingertips, and we are so blessed. We are so blessed at this point in our journey with doTERRA because somebody else has pioneered and paved the way for us, creating all these amazing resources, support groups, training groups. So what it really comes down to, honestly, is do you want it and are you willing to be consistent and stick with it? Because we have the support, we have the training, and we have the system. And if you'll stick with it, through the pipes long enough. Pipes is really an analogy that talks about how if we fill that pipeline, eventually you can turn it on and out the other end comes the resources that you want to do whatever it is that really drew you to doTERRA. Maybe it's time. Maybe it's flexibility in your schedule. Maybe you want to travel more with your spouse and you never get to do it because you're so landlocked or you're locked into a job or whatever it is. Whatever that reason is, if you are willing to stick with it and be consistent and learn the skills over time that you need, you can be successful because we have literally provided a plug-and-play business for you. There are all the pieces that you need to be successful. And I'm telling you, I've seen people be successful, and I've experienced it myself, with none of this stuff. So what we're giving you is it's golden nuggets. And I'm really encouraging you, stick with this. You can do it all the way through to the goal that you set for yourself. So what's your role? Your role in doTERRA as a doTERRA wellness advocate is truly to act as a guide. Your role is to lead people through gates on their own path. We don't know what their path is. We don't know what they want. We don't know what it's going to be. And so I want to show you a quick overview here of what those paths are, because as I mentioned, we have the training, we have the resources, and we have the tools for each one of these paths. So when somebody comes to you on a different path or having a different desire and you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do with this person? I have no idea where to even start. You actually can get rid of that. You don't even have to fear that because we have a very clear set path for every single person that comes to this business. And if you can start seeing your business this way, that each person that comes to you is just looking at one of these 5 gates, your job is just to ask enough questions and identify which gate that they might want to pass through. And then you're going to match the training, the tool, or the resource to that gate. And I'm going to show you a quick overview of what that looks like, okay? Because, again, I'm not going to do training around each of these pieces. That's coming in the weeks to come. We're going to give you what you need on your way to elite on a need-to-know basis. You don't need to know how to do all these things yet. What you need to know is that all this stuff is in place. And you need to know, like, just a quick, you need to have context. It's almost like trying to work a puzzle without being able to see the box or see what you've got all the pieces and you have no idea what to do with these pieces. I want to give you I want to give you the box. I want to give you the cover and show you what you're doing with them all. So your job is to guide people through these 5 gates of involvement. Let's look at this first one. Most people come to you because they want to learn more. They want to know more. They want to know more about essential oils, or maybe they want to know more about the opportunity and what you're doing. Your job right here at this first gate, that first contact with somebody, is to figure out where they're at and which tool is going to match where they're at and how they want to be involved with doTERRA. We have to get rid of how we want them to be involved with doTERRA. And we have to ask enough questions to discover how they want to be involved. And then again, we're going to match them to that. So what are the tools that we have right here at this beginning step? We have classes, natural solutions guides. doTERRA has something called a class in a box. You can buy those and use those. They're pretty close to the natural solutions class that we teach, the 101 class that you hear us probably talk about or somebody else has talked about. You can download digital versions of everything that I'm showing you at Share Success. And doTERRA also will have these available for you to purchase as well. If somebody comes to you and wants to live better, they want to feel better, they want to have a better lifestyle, they've got some health priorities or goals, and they want to try essential oils for them, that means they're on the live path. And with that, we have a specific tool that we'll talk about. And this is what it is. It's called the Live Guide. This is what we do for wellness consults. After somebody comes to a class of yours, so in this next month, again, I'm not doing a training right now on how to do all this stuff. I just want you to understand the process and the steps you're going to take somebody through. When they come to your class, the next step with them is going to be a wellness consultation, and you're going to use this Live Guide. You can do it in a digital format. You can have them hop on and download their own copy and print it. You can purchase them and mail it, or you can purchase it and show up at their house, however you find this most effective for you and what you love to do. Maybe you love one-on-ones and you love people and you need to get out of the house. Maybe you struggle to get out of the house because you have teeny babies and you're trying to work around time, so maybe the digital format's going to be better for you and phone calls. Whatever this looks like for you, that's where you get to use creativity and find the system that works for you, but this is the resource. And this answers the 3 most common questions every new enrollee has. How in the world do I use my products? We don't want their oils sitting on their counter doing nothing. We want to show them how to use them. How do I buy more? In other words, how do I get on the LRP and what are the benefits of that? And how do I get support? That would be where we push them into our continuing education program. It's all about making sure what? They can walk through this gate of living better, feeling better, and we have the tools, the training, and the resources to provide for them. The Wellness Consult, as I mentioned, is designed to do these 3 things. If you were on our training call about this, you heard this: educate, equip, and empower. We want to educate them on their oils, equip them with a daily plan, morning, afternoon, and evening. We're going to show them exactly when to use what, and we're just going to use our resources to figure that out. We're going to go straight to the Essential Life book or an A to Z guide or something really simple to look it up with them and figure that out, and we're going to empower them with that 30, 60, 90-day wellness plan that leads really to an LRP. So that's how we're going to build that out. So that's what we're going to be showing you in the coming weeks, because obviously if you haven't even launched your business yet, you don't have people to do this with. So I'm just showing you this is going to be one of the steps that we walk through, but we're not there yet. The share steps. Some of the people that come to you are going to want to take this share gate, this share pathway. They want to learn how they can actually share doTERRA and others can benefit and they can benefit. Maybe they have a desire to get their products paid for. Maybe they have a desire to earn extra spending money, or maybe even pay a bill. And they want to look what sharing casually looks like. This guide for you is really going to support sharing. It's going to be a tool that helps you set up your hosts and your builders with success around how to share. It's going to teach them some ways to follow up. It's really going to show them in this guide, it shows them and helps them create like an invite list. And you can see a little bit of it. This is just a little bit of it. It shows them how to share the oils, invite, and send out reminders to the people that maybe they're hosting a class for. And then our 4th path here, our 4th gate, is the builder path, the build path. So is this person interested in really creating a stream of income? Maybe it's part-time, maybe it's full-time. If it's really spare time, if they're spare time builder, I would say they're more of a sharer. So a builder is somebody who really is invested in not just sharing the oils. They want to create a team. They want to create an organization. They want to work with people. They enjoy maybe coaching people, training people, leading people, and they want to do it, and they want to have other people on that journey with them. That's how I would qualify a builder. A lot of people say they want to build, but what they're really saying is they want to share, because they really just are interested in handing out samples or hosting a class here and there. That's a share. A builder has a real desire to create an organization. There's very different action steps, very different expectations, very different commitment level for somebody who wants to build. Again, they might build very spare or very part-time, but they have a different concept and understanding of where they're going. They want that organization because they understand the power of creating residual income. I would say a sharer is probably just more passionate around essential oils, changing people's lives. They don't really care about residual income. They just like, maybe a month here or a month there, I make $100 or $200 or $50 or things like that. So a builder is somebody that really desires to create that organization and create residual income. And we have a build guide, a training resource to take them through that. And then last but not least here, our 5th gate. Actually, I'm going to walk you through this really fast. This build guide, it helps create vision for you. It helps them create vision. We really show them what it looks like to build with doTERRA. We give them a quick overview of who our owners are, what it means to build authentic network marketing. We show them exactly really the 4 ways to get paid and a quick overview of our compensation. And then we set expectations, and we actually have some action steps. So these are some of the things that you would see in the build guide. There's even more updated versions. These versions are changing all the time, but we give them an overview of our compensation. We let them really identify 1, 2, or 3. Where are they at? Do they just want a little bit of income and supplement their income or replace it? And then very clear expectations about what it takes to do that. And then we set their And then we walk through these steps. So this is what your job is to help people identify this. So most likely you're on this call because this recently happened for you. Or maybe you're relaunching your business. You're trying to get some momentum into your business. But at whatever point we're talking here, having this conversation, at some point in your journey, you've probably seen this build guide because you said, I want to build. I want to create residual income for myself. And so these are steps. Maybe you've not done these steps yet, but these are some of those initial steps of setting that 30-day goal. You're on this training right now because your 30-day goal is elite. So again, we call this our Elite in 6 Weeks program. I'll show you what the 6 weeks look like, but we're actually going to break this down into 4 weeks. We're going to condense that for you and make it into Elite in 4 weeks. And step 2 for you, you've probably done this already. If not, this is a part of our Elite in 6 Weeks program, so we'll be revisiting this, creating a names list. And then lastly is scheduling presentations. I'm going to walk you through that really clearly, so we don't even need to linger here because I'm going to show you that in just a second with Elite in 6 weeks. Okay, so the last thing here is becoming a leader. It's training yourself and growing into your leadership level. And you can see, I love this little illustration here to the side, if you can see this, these little stair steps from elite to premier to silver, gold, platinum, diamond, blue, and presidential. Some of you, it may not be your goal to go diamond. It may not be your goal to go gold, and that's okay. You pick the stair step you want to get to, and that starts with you launching and working on becoming a leader. So we have a clear launch guide that will take you through that. It's kind of like your manual. One thing that I always tell people, though, is do not park it in training mode. We have training literally at each step. So this launch guide that you see pictured here is a training resource that matches our Elite stair step. We have a training guide that matches Premier. So when you're ready to take that step after your Elite in 4 weeks and you're prepared and you're ready to go to Premier, we have a training guide that will take you to Premier. Then when you're ready to take that next step to silver, we have the same thing. So, and then once you hit silver, there's things that you get to be a part of in doTERRA called leadership retreats. Those happen in March. You have to qualify by the end of December as a silver, and then you're eligible to go to a leadership retreat. Typically, I say March, the dates could change a little bit, but it's in the spring sometime. Those are typically in Orlando and California, so there's an East Coast and a West Coast, and it's a phenomenal training experience that's literally just for silvers all the way up to presidential. And the people speaking and training at those events are the diamonds, the blues and the presidentials, the people in the field who have done what you're doing, who started exactly where you started. That's the amazing part as you progress through these ranks. When you get to even blue diamond, presidential, there is a specific training event just for those leaders because there's different things that those leaders might be experiencing at the level they're at. So just giving you that quick overview to show you with doTERRA, there is literally a training resource and tool or event that is geared around helping you get to that next place, helping you advance in your business. And so that's what we're working through today. That launch guide is geared towards elite. This is your training. This is what you need. It's everything that you need to be successful. It shows you how to track your contacts and your customers, how to plan, how to make plans and your classes and events and all those things that are super important as just a daily part of your business. So how do you identify the right people for your team? We've established you're on this call because you want to build. You've decided you want to build. And remember what I said, that distinction is between a sharer and a builder. A sharer is more interested in just casually sharing the oils, hosting some classes. They love that. A builder wants to create an organization, desires the residual income. So how do you identify the right people for your team? You're right here at the beginning of launching, and you have that mindset. You know you want to partner with the right people. So I'm going to give you these qualities, and you've probably seen these, you've probably heard them, so I'm not going to linger too long here, but the 7 characteristics of success are they're female. You want to partner with people, typically, you want to put people as your main leaders who are women, 35 to 45. That's typically our main, it seems to be like childbearing age has kind of backed up a little bit. And so that's the real age where a lot of moms are really either they've got a little bit older toddlers or they've got even kids that are in high school and they're finally coming to this place in their journey of, gosh, maybe what I've done all these years isn't working. I really want to now find solutions for my kids that are natural. Another thing that you're interested in finding is somebody who likes natural things. Obviously, if you have somebody that could care less about the products and what's in them, they're probably not a great fit for doTERRA. I was actually speaking to a potential prospect the other day that I had identified had probably what I knew of her. She was at least a 6 out of 7. The one thing that I did not know was if she liked natural things. And not that that's a deal breaker, but it kind of is in this business, right? I mean, doTERRA stands for of the earth. We need people that actually enjoy natural things or are looking for natural solutions for their family. They don't have to be granola. They don't have to never, ever, ever use over-the-counter medications. You know, there are things that I think we create in our head that person looks like, and we don't want to put people in a box. But this person was literally said to me on the phone, I honestly could care less about what's in a product. All I care about is if it works. Don't give me the science. I don't care if it's natural. And immediately I was like, that's awesome. We had a great conversation, but I knew she wasn't a right fit for us. And so those are the things that we're looking to partner with. We want somebody that's entrepreneurial has that entrepreneurial mindset. Why? They understand how hard it is to start things and to finish things and build things. And so that's the mindset that we want. We want someone who's an influencer. When they say something, people do it. We want them to have a supportive spouse. I honestly don't work with a ton of people who don't have that supportive spouse because it's very difficult for a person to be successful. And again, based off what your goal is, if you're going to get where you're going to get, you're only going to get there by helping somebody else be successful. You have to help other people succeed in this business for you to succeed. That's why I've stuck with network marketing for 6 years. It is the only industry where I have seen you pour yourself into other people. You pour your life into servant leadership. You help other people succeed, and in the process, you succeed. But one thing that stops that and hinders that is if a spouse is not on board. If they are nagging their wife every single night for being out one more time. If they're constantly questioning her going, really? You did all that work and this is all you made? Now, if that is your spouse and you're listening, please get them on the phone with my husband. My husband does this with me full time, and he is happy to talk to any man that would like to talk to him. He can run numbers with them. He can show you and talk to your leader because maybe there are some things that you're doing or might do in the future that are not as effective, and maybe he's picking up on it. So don't get defensive. Don't be offended. Maybe there's a way that you can partner with your spouse to learn and to grow forward, but we want that supportive spouse. A money need is the last one. If somebody is killing it in the current business they're in, maybe they've got all these. They're a crazy high influencer, but they're making $10,000 or $20,000 or $30,000 with what they're already doing. They may not have a need or a drive or why that would make them want to go start over something else. Because if they already are doing that, they knew how much work it took and how hard it was. Some people might, but most likely it's not. It's a money need that's going to drive them to this. Okay, there's, in addition to those 7 qualities of success, there's 2 C's of success. We are looking to identify people who are committed and capable. Let me break these down for you. A committed person gets on the calls that you ask them to be on. One of those calls, if I am personally building a business, I am looking for people that are going to do weekly strategy sessions with me. We're going to work together to build their business and help them get to their goals. So as you're launching, you're brand new, and you're wanting to go elite next month, you're looking for people that will commit, that they really want to build for their own reasons, but they're willing to follow the system. Because we all have things that we'll tweak and we'll kind of do our own way and we'll put our little individual twists on things. But if people don't know how to do this, how are they going to get there? So that's what those weekly calls are for. We also, commitment is shown through them attending weekly team trainings. Those are Monday nights for our team. Can everybody get on every call every time? Absolutely not. But they could listen to recordings. They could go to the archives that we have for them and go back and replay those and shoot you a text to say, hey, I listened into the training this week. And this is a big one. Are they willing to invest the time that aligns with their goals? So when you talk to people, again, we're going to show you how to do that. Within the next 7 days, we're going to make it very clear for you how to go talk to people to start identifying committed, capable people. We're not doing all that today, but I want you to hang tight with me and know that that's what we're going to be doing. So you want to identify people that are actually willing to invest the time that aligns with their goals. So I talked to a girl who told me the amount that she wanted, and then she told me when she wanted it by, and then she told me that she was really only she didn't actually tell me she was willing to work 10 hours. This is what she was saying. Do I have to work more than 10 hours a week? Every question she kept asking me was about almost like, do I have to do this? And the time and this. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, okay, so let me be really, really honest with you. If you want that amount of money and this amount of time, and you are struggling to even get your heart and mind wrapped around 10 hours a week, I got to be really honest with you. Your goals and your commitment are not lining up. You're not going to get there. And so I want to tell you that on the front end, because I don't want you mad at doTERRA. I don't want you tossing network marketing as a whole and say this industry sucks and it doesn't work. I don't want to hear any of those excuses or reasons. Like, the issue right now is you won't get here because the commitment is not matching it. So one of two things has to happen. Either we got to change our commitment level and invest a little more time, or we got to be okay to maybe change what we want a little bit or extend it. Maybe instead of 6 months, it's going to take you 9 months. Or maybe that dollar amount needs to come down. Something has to change so that our investment and our commitment is aligning with our goals. So I wanted you to hear that conversation I recently had so that you can be thinking as you're talking to people and you're hearing things. Don't feel like if somebody throws something out, a lot of times they don't know what's possible. They don't really know what should be aligning. So in the case with this girl, it wasn't that. Like, I've had plenty of conversations where somebody's like, well, this is what I want, but I don't really know what's possible. I mean, can I do that in 12 months? That's a totally different conversation. This girl was more like, I really, really want this, but honestly, I could tell from the questions she'd been asking, she didn't really want to put the time in. So that's a really different conversation. That was a commitment issue for me, red flag right away. Okay, last thing here is we're going to test their commitment to make sure. We're going to test that commitment to see, do you really want what you say you want? And can I count on you? Because as a leader, guess what you're going to be doing? You're building a business. This is a business. Yes, it's with relationships that are close to you a lot of times. A lot of times we start our businesses with people that are close to us. So that's where we have to have our business hat and our friendship hat and all these hats. But we test them a little bit to make sure that that commitment's really there, because at the end of the day, you still want relationships. And if Susie has told you she's going to do something and she's never, ever, 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 ever doing it, does that strain a little bit? It does. But if on the front end we've tested them and we've set expectations clearly with them of, hey, this is what you said you wanted, so this is what it's going to take. Are you willing to check in weekly about this? Are you willing to do X, Y, and Z? All right. So this is what I want you to do this week. Let's do this together. Why don't you go do this and then come back and let me know when it's done? So that's what testing somebody looks like, so you can start to get an idea of if they're committed. Capable is another thing. So our 2 C's of success here are committed and capable. Capable people look like this. They can enroll people by themselves without a whole lot of help. They can figure it out. They go on to doTERRA.com. They see that login button. It opens up. It has a place that says enroll now. They start clicking it. They walk through the process and realize, okay, they want English and they want to either be a customer, they want to be a wellness advocate. They just kind of walk through the process. They figure it out. This is a capable person. I've had so many people that this has happened to, or they've got it all on an enrollment form going, I've got my first order, I'm ready to go. Maybe they haven't put it in the system, but they call you and say, oh my gosh, I have my first person. I totally talked to this person. And you're like, what? We just got off the phone 30 minutes ago. You already have somebody? And then they also can make purchases without help. They've gone on. They've looked at things themselves. They're not waiting basically for you to, they're not waiting for 3 weeks and then saying, well, I never got my kit because you never told me what to get. You never really walked me through, like, what it was. Now, is it our job to follow up and make sure people know? Absolutely. But capable people are just going to use Google. I mean, if they can't get you, they're going to go figure out where to find it and figure out what enrollment kits are and where to start. And again, here's another one. They get answers to their own questions. Does this mean, I hope any of you that have asked questions of myself or anybody else are not like in fear right now, like, oh my gosh, I asked her a question, I texted her something. She doesn't think I'm capable. That's not it at all. Let me make a distinction here. We all need coaching. If you saw my text threads with Elise and Dan, I text them constantly for things, but I try to not text them if I have not gone somewhere to find it myself first. That's just my own personal rule of thumb. I go, am I capable enough to find this? Yeah, I probably am. And sometimes maybe, again, once you're in your relationship with a leader, you just know they're going to have it a little bit quicker than you, and that's fine. But if you're doing that with somebody constantly, or somebody's doing that with you and they literally just never want to go find it themselves, that's going to be an issue for you long term in your business. So you're looking for people who are capable enough to own their business and to find answers to the questions that are easy for them. They're going to need you for a million other things, but a capable person can go find some of these things on their own. They're self-sufficient, even if they don't know what they're doing. So in other words, they don't have all the answers. Like right now, you don't have all the answers of what it looks like to be elite by the end of October or by the end of the next month and the next month and the next month, whatever month you're doing this. So, but you're sufficient, you're self-sufficient enough to go, I can wake up each day and I'm going to plug away at this business and do what I do know to do. That's what a capable person is. Really, capability comes down to enrolling people. Can I enroll people? Or am I that person that says, gosh, I want to do this business and I want $10,000 next month, but I don't know who to talk to. Like, I don't really think I have many people in my sphere of influence, or I don't really know many people. I don't really have many friends. That's going to be a little bit of an issue. You can get there, but you're going to have to expand your influence. You're going to have to do a lot of things to really begin to grow that capacity for yourself. And you can totally do it. I talked to a lady the other day who was a total introvert. She's in doTERRA, complete introvert. Her circle, her sphere of influence was super tiny when she started, and it took her longer to get there. But she got there. She got to one of the highest ranks in doTERRA because she did not give up on increasing her influence and enlarging her territory and her capacity with people. But she worked really, really hard at it. Okay, so how should we organize our teams? We've got this measuring stick. We've got these 7 success qualities we're looking for. We've got the 2 C's of success that we're using to identify people we want to partner with. How do we organize our teams, and how do we know where to place them? We have 14 days to place new people. So this is not a long window, but it's hard sometimes to really know in such a short time frame. But the few things we can do, we've kind of already mentioned it. We can test them, and we're looking for these qualities. So I'm going to just give you a quick overview. This is not a placement conversation, but I want you going into this next month as you're launching to Elite, understanding the basic concept of placement. We put our CCs on our front line. These are our committed, capable builders. Guys, I cannot stress this enough. If you desire to build a doTERRA business, trust me on this. Put your committed, capable people on your front line. They are committed to do what they say they're going to do, and they actually can do it. And here's why. Because if you have people on your front line that kind of poop out of their commitment and they decide 10 days in they don't really want to do this anymore, and you've placed the whole business there, or customers there, or you've invested time, energy, and resources there, you have to go rebuild. You have to start over. So it's really important as you're looking for people to place committed, capable people on your first level. On your second level are your C's, your 1 C's. Maybe they're committed or capable. That might look like they're super committed. They come to everything. They help clean up after every class. They're on every single training call. They're struggling a little bit to enroll people. It's a little slower process. And for that person, if they're on your front line, it could be frustrating to them. It can be frustrating to you, and it's going to be frustrating to them. And above all, we want people in the right position for them because we want them loving doTERRA. We want them loving their experience with doTERRA. And so it's super important that for their sake, that they're in the right position in your team. And it's important for your sake, too, because of your own goals. Remember, on your front line, those are those people that you want your goals and the timing of those goals really aligning. So they've got a specific goal, and that goal kind of matches the same goal that you have where you're heading, and so that's why you're willing and able to put them there. And so on your second level, it does not mean that they're, so let me make sure I define capable. It does not mean incompetent. I want to make sure people know this. This just means whatever place that they are in their life. Maybe they work full-time. So maybe they have capabilities and they know people, but they work full-time. And so sometimes that is a struggle for them to have the amount of conversations they need to have to meet the goal by the end of the month. Or maybe it's a skill set thing. Maybe they're crazy successful in the business that they're in, but this is a whole new beast and an animal for them. And I'm telling you, it is totally different. I've had people that are like, oh my gosh, I'll totally kill it in this. I love sales. And then they get in and they're like, oh, this is really different. This is relationship sales. This is permission marketing. This is really different than the sales pitch that I've been doing. And so there might be skill sets somebody has to learn. So these are all the reasons you might evaluate and say, you know what, this is where I'm going to put this person in my organization. And the last thing here is product users are on your third level. We always put our product users down on our third level. I'm not going to go into depth of placements right now, but the reason is, and again, just trust me on this, you do not want your product users on your first level or your second level. You want them on your third, fourth, even fifth level. But third level right now, because we want to help you build out what's called a Power of 3 bonus down to the $1,500 level. And so if you are filling in holes with product users, that's the fastest way to build out your Power of 3 bonus. Now, bottom line is you're doing this structure. And so when you launch your elite business to elite, you're going to be structuring this way, and we will help you. I'm giving you an overview, but the person who is your team leader, or again, if you need to look up high enough to find somebody to help you, this is what weekly strategy sessions are for. Remember, this goes back to commitment. Are you committed even to have those weekly calls with your leader to know how to place people? They will help you. They'll help you structure your business out. And if you're doing this and you duplicate it with all 3 of these people you bring on, they're going to be placing committed, capable people on their first level. C's on their second, product users on your third. Guess what? Now your business is just bumped down to the 4th level. And then this person now is doing the same thing. They're duplicating. They're putting CCs on their front line, C's on their second, C's on their third. Guess what? Now your business is growing in depth. Now you're down at your 5th level because you're duplicating the same concept. If you put all your customers here and they put all their customers here, and you're not duplicating, you're not scaling, and you're not getting the depth and really maximizing the compensation plan. So that is why we teach it this way. Okay, so Elite in 6 weeks. This is a super fast overview of how to create massive action. This is our Elite in 6 weeks program. But again, we're going to be doing this in 4 weeks. We're condensing this for you into 4 weeks. So obviously, which would you prefer? Nathan and I got to go to Paris several years ago, back in 2011, and standing at the base of the Eiffel Tower was absolutely unbelievable. It actually looks kind of tiny, I think, until you're standing there and you see how wide these pillars are. And the design of it it's just crazy. It's brilliant how they created it. Very, very different, obviously, than this apartment complex. I don't think I'd want to be really living in this thing. You can see that the foundation is not there. And foundations, we all know this. The foundation is the most important part of your business, of your home, of your life, of your spiritual journey, of your parenting, all these things. When it comes to what we see in our life, what we see is like this tower. It's the structure. So the thing that we've created, whether it's our kids, whether it's our marriage, whether it's our finances, it all starts down here. It starts at the foundational level. And what did we pour there? What was our belief system? What was our skill set? What was our tool set? What were all the things that we poured into the cement of that foundation as we started layering brick after brick after brick and creating the structure that we see now? The good news is, of all those things in your life right now, if you don't, side note here, if you don't like the structure, you can actually begin to take that thing down and relay that foundation. But in your business, we don't want to have to do that. We don't want to have to build something that we built wrong, tear the thing down, and start all over. We want to show you how to have a solid foundation straight from the start. And the key foundation in your business is understanding elite. So what you're about to do and what you're about to experience of going elite in 4 weeks, if you can do this, and when you do this, you're going to be able to confidently look other people in the eye and say, I did this. I know how to do this. I know how to take you there. That's why it's so important that you're doing this right now. It's not just for you. It's for all the people that are going to follow behind you, that once you do it, all of a sudden, John Maxwell, he's a leadership guru who talks about the law of magnetism. All of a sudden, when you do something, it starts becoming a magnet for other people. And they go, oh my gosh, if she can do it, I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it. It's like the guy, his name's slipping my head, that broke the first 4-minute mile. Nobody had ever done it. Years and years, centuries, decades, all these things, nobody had ever done it. Within him breaking that 4-minute mile, it was within a matter of months that the second person did it. That's human nature. When one of us does something, it's magnetic, and it tells somebody else in our sphere of influence, in our circle of influence, that I can do this too. So that is why this is so foundational, that you're doing this and that you're a part of this journey right now. So on Elite, you're going to focus on identifying needs and asking questions. We are not going to go blast everybody on Facebook and tell them we just started a business. We are not going to just send out sign-up links and hope people join because they want to support us. That is the total wrong context. That's laying the wrong foundation. Your foundation of launching to Elite is others focused. Who is in your life right now that needs what you have, that needs these essential oils that could change their family's life? They're dealing with a child that has ADHD and they don't know what to do. They're dealing personally with depression and they don't want to go on medication, whatever it is. Or financially, they're just seconds away from going under, and they're drowning, and they need hope, and they need to know that this could be a vehicle for them. That's what we're focused on. That is the context of building to Elite, is identifying needs in our friends, family, and strangers by asking questions. You only discover those things through asking questions and listening. If you find for the next 4 weeks that you are the one doing all the talking, you are literally going every single place that you can, and you're throwing up doTERRA all over everybody, you're fire hosing them with the science of essential oils, you're telling them about your most favorite oils, and you're not asking them questions, you've lost. So if one thing you take today is the next month for you is going to be a lot more about listening, asking questions and listening, than it is about informing and presenting. It's so much more about the other person. For some of you, this is going to be a struggle because when you're nervous, what do? You talk. You fill space. You fill dead space with a lot of words. And so I want to encourage you, when your children come home from school, when your husband comes home from work, start practicing on the people closest to you. If you're not married, if you're single listening, find a friend, or if your sister calls or your mom calls, start practicing on the people closest to you this month. This is a skill set that you can start learning on the people closest to you through just asking questions. And don't ask questions like, how was your day? That's good, bad, or whatever. You might get a grunt if you have a teenager. Say, tell me a little bit more about today. What did it look like for you? Tell me a little bit more about your math test. Tell me how you did. How did you feel like you did on your math test? If you start asking those kinds of questions, you'll actually get conversation, not one-word answers. So I want you to start practicing that. So Elite's the foundation. Elite is you personally having your minimum 100 points. But for our team, what we teach is 150 PV, personal volume. That's what we want you to have every single month because it helps you build out your Power of 3 bonus faster. We're not going to break down compensation right now. But again, trust me, you qualify for everything that you need. You qualify for your paycheck, the free oil of the month, and your Power Free bonus if you put in 150 PV a month. If you're brand new and you have not done that yet, that is your very first action step when you get off this training call. Hop off here and go straight to your LRP and adjust that to 150. Okay, and then make sure it's before the 15th of the month. I say typically have it somewhere between the 5th and the 6th of the month so that You are yourself and you're training into your team that all LRPs come out that first week of the month. As a business owner, if I have the first week of the month and I can already assess the volume that's come in, and by the 15th of the month, I can know for sure what LRPs have mostly gone out, and I'm training that into my team, that's just a really good business move, because now I can spend the next 2 weeks of the month really evaluating where the activity needs to be happening in my legs and in my team and in my organization. Leads the foundation with 3,000 points, 3,000 overall volume. So what you're going to be doing is build yourself to elite and learn to teach a team of people. So let's break down some of these higher ranks real fast. Getting to silver is nothing more than having 3 elites. And you can see that the average annual earning for a silver is $26,000. So it's just 3 elites. Again, I mentioned elite is that solid foundation we build our whole business around. And you'll see as you progress, let's jump rank to platinum here. Platinum is having 3 silvers. You remember how many elites a silver has? Each one has 3. So if we do the math, a platinum is really just how many elites? It's 9. It's just 9 elites. So our average annual earnings there for a platinum is almost $60,000. And then let's look at diamond. A diamond is 4 silvers. 4 silvers is really, it's 12 elites. So the average diamond in doTERRA, it's about 2 to 3 years of working between 20 to 30 hours a week on your doTERRA business. So 2 to 3 years, 20 to 30 hours of consistency, doing the right activity. We have a success schedule that we have that shows you the right activity, and you're going to be learning that over the next few weeks with me and with your leaders and in our Facebook group. The average annual earning for a diamond is $200,000, okay? Lastly, it's presidential. We're skipping over blue. We're jumping right to presidential. It's 6 platinums. So if you do the math there, that's 54 elites. 54 elites can get you there. So for some of you, that's like, oh my gosh, that's overwhelming. For me, I'm like, what? That's it? Okay, we can do this. 54 elites in the right places. Average annual earning is over $1 million a year. So this just gives you, for some of you, this is the roadmap that maybe you wanted to really see how to get where you want to go. So what does elite in 6 weeks look like? This is a quick roadmap, because what we're going to do in the following weeks is we're going to be breaking down each one of these steps with you, alongside of you. So step 1, we're going to jumpstart our business. Actually, this is not step 1. Just quick overview. We're jumpstarting our business with these 6 steps. The elite in 6 weeks building system. We're going to help. Another part of that is you consciously thinking about having 3 builders that are going to do elite in 6 weeks with you at some point. They don't have to do it all the first month with you, but if you come out of the gate already thinking about 3 people to partner with that will also turn around and do elite in 6 weeks, then you begin to duplicate this all the way down, because they're going to do the same thing. So these are the 6 steps of the Elite in 6 Weeks program. Choose the week you want to start, create your list, schedule 4 jumpstart classes, invite and sample. You're going to book future classes, and then you're going to enroll and support. Again, we'll break these down in more detail. I'm going to give you a quick overview of each one. So step 1 is choosing the week to start. I would suggest this has to be within 2 to 3 weeks of joining. If you're on this call, you're right on target. You're right on target because you're starting at the beginning of this next month. So you're right in that range. And it's kind of that law of diminishing intent. It's if we don't start something when we're the most excited, we lose excitement over it. It's like buying a gym membership. Everybody does it in January, and then within 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 2 months max, the gyms are a little more sparse. There's not as many people there, and it's the same thing as Newton's law of motion, that objects in motion stay in motion. But the opposite is true. Objects at rest stay at rest. So when somebody is really excited and they've just gotten started, or you were really excited, you just got started, we recommend jumping right in. Just jump right in. Push through and wade through some of the life stuff, because guess what? Life stuff always happens. It's always there. If you're waiting for the perfect window to start your business, I could write a book on when Nathan and I started our doTERRA business. I literally could write a book on the amount of drama and life that happened within that 4 weeks prior to us starting. And even right around the day that we started, I could write a book on it, a 300-page book. And you would be blown away if you knew how much life was actually happening. But we didn't let the world know all the life that was happening. And we didn't let all that stuff affect us. we put our head down and we ran. And we went with it because we knew, you know what, life's happening with or without us building, so we might as well do something really positive. We might as well push through the obstacles. And because of that, I think we've had that mindset month after month after month of, you know what, life always happens. How are we going to solve this? How are we going to get around this so that we can stay in motion? Step 2, we're going to create our list. And this is going to be part of your action step for after you get off this training today, is you're going to make a list of 100 people. If you have not done that already, you're going to put a star by your top 25 potentially for the business. The people that you've identified have those 7 qualities. You think they're a CC. You know, they're a committed, capable person. I want you to put 2 stars by the top 5, the 5 that you would dream of working with, that you would absolutely love to work with. Who are those people? And then you're going to target people, as I said, on your list with the highest potential. You might want to put a score by them. So of those 100 people, mark them 1 through 7. Where do they line up with the 7 characteristics of success list? Step 3, we're going to schedule our 4 Jumpstart classes. We're going to schedule 4 classes in 1 week. There's several reasons that we do this, but the 4 classes that we schedule in 1 week, it gives people options to choose from. So it's super important because whenever I go to invite somebody and they say, oh my gosh, that sounds so amazing, I would love to come, but I can't, I'm busy, it's like, hey, no problem, I've got one tonight, and actually tomorrow, and the next day too. Which one would you like to come to? So it kind of leaves them with, oh, there's really no out if they were using that as an excuse. And if they're not using it as an excuse, it just gives them options. A lot of times people, it's not an excuse. They have life too. You know, they've got kids they're taking places, they've got things in their schedule. So again, this is where we don't take it personally. We remove obstacles. We just give them lots of different times that they can come to. So we're going to schedule 4 Jumpstart classes. It's super, super efficient and maximizes your time. You clean your house once, you make the brownies once, you double the batches you're making them, and you put some in the fridge or the freezer to pull out for the 3rd and 4th classes. And then you get to build from class to class. You get to start identifying, because you've grouped your classes so closely together. Let's just say you have 8 to 10 people come to each class. That's 32 to 40 people in a 3-day period. Look, because you've grouped your classes so close. You have 32 to 40 people now that you get to assess which path they're on. Are they on the live path and they just want to use the products and get started with a kit or some oils? Do they want to share? Maybe you're going to host with them, or do they want to build? And if you find committed, capable builders out of these 4 launch classes, which happens all the time, now you can start structuring your organization the way that I just showed you a second ago, with your CCs on your front line, your Cs underneath, maybe those are your shares, and then your product users on the last level. Okay, step 4 is sample and invite. If you do this right, you're going to guarantee good attendance at those 4 Jumpstart classes. So when we sample, I'm not going through sampling training right now. We're going to be doing this for you in the Facebook group, and we're going to make sure on a need-to-know basis, we're going to be doing this within the next probably 7 to 10 days, 7 days probably. You'll have a very clear training on how to sample and how to get moving with this in the Facebook group. You're just going to sample one per person though. We don't want to give them 13 things for 13 different issues, because then they don't know what's working and what's not. We're going to start with the most inexpensive sample per person. Why do we do that? Well, as a wellness advocate, we don't want to bust the bank for you. We want to make sure this is cost effective, that you get into profitability, and we want to make sure that that person knows that we're not trying to sell them the most expensive oil first. We really want them to find something that works for them, the least expensive possible. And then we're going to set expectations right from the start that every person's body is different. So if this oil doesn't work for you, we'll find the one that does. Again, we'll go through exactly how to sample. I just want to give you a quick overview of what you're going to be doing here coming soon. There's a 5-touch method. I'm not even going to talk about this right now, but this 5-touch method is a really powerful method to make sure in our sampling and inviting process that we ensure great attendance at our classes. This is what we use with each person versus just blasting them with a Facebook message, or we invite them to an online Facebook thing. We don't even personally call them or text them and tell them we've invited them. They go to look at the group message, maybe if you're lucky. A lot of people just delete those. They might go look and they see that 5,000 people were invited and there's only one maybe. So that is not a great method. that is a zero-touch method. There was 0 personal touches in that process, which is why if you've tried that before in the past and it hasn't worked, that's why. So we do a very clear 5-touch method to make sure we have good attendance at our classes, and we'll show you what that is. Step 5, our goal is to book classes, future classes. So again, I told you I was going to map out the 6 weeks to Elite. Week 1, you've got your 4 classes. Week 2, 2 classes, 2, 2, 2, all the way to the end. Now we're condensing this and cramming this in to a 4-week period. So we may have to add a class here or there, or a one-on-one here or there to make sure our volume's at 3,000 by the end of the month. And one of the ways that we get these 2 classes every consecutive week is our goal is to book 2 classes from each of our 4 Jumpstart classes. So if I have 4 classes and at the end or in the middle or wherever, towards the end of the class, I invite people to host a class. If they loved what they heard and they're sitting there thinking about people that would want to hear and learn more about essential oils, that maybe have some health goals and needs of their own, then I'm happy to come teach those classes for them. And I've got a special gift and a special prize for whoever signs up that day to host with me. Maybe it's a keychain or a sample vial. Maybe it's with sample vials in it, or it's a diffuser. So this is how we make sure we don't run out of leads and contacts and networks. This is how you're always in this business expanding your network. You can find people to host for you. We have the queen of hosting. Her name's Faith Hill. Ashley McDonald is also amazing. Becky Farrant. These ladies are incredible at booking classes and getting people to host for them. And so they're going to be also doing some training with you over the next several weeks about how to do this well and what the language sounds like so that you can book those future classes. Remember, we're not talking about it, though, because this isn't happening yet. There's no reason for you to know how to do that yet. We're just going to break this down for you in bite-sized pieces as you go. The last and final step of Elite in 6 weeks is enroll and support. When they come to our class or they come to a one-on-one or we have a phone call and we enroll them, our next step is support them through wellness consultations, which leads to LRP, and then we get them plugged into our continuing education series. This is key. We don't want people falling off after they've bought a kit. This is how we build solid, stable volume in our organization and prevent having to just do replacement volume every single month. doTERRA's retention rate is 65% and higher. That means out of 100 people that buy a kit, 65 reorder every single month. The industry average is 8 to 10%. I've seen as low and experienced as low as 6% in a business I was in. So this is super, super key. This number is what literally attracted us to doTERRA. But the magic of this number is in 2 things. The products work. People get results on them, so the products do the talking, and that's enough. But the second part of that magic is the education piece. As wellness advocates, we do have to be committed to educate and to help support people. And maybe you find a way to do some of this stuff online. Maybe we've got about 50 training videos that are about to come out. Some of these training videos are things that you're going to be able to utilize with people to support them. doTERRA has a plethora of videos on the doTERRA YouTube channel that you could use to support people and continue their education. So we'll go through support later towards the end of the month for you so that you know how to do that. So here are the last and final benefits of the Elite in 6 Weeks program. You gain new team members. You're trained, so now you know how to do this and how to actively teach classes yourself. You are earning incredible fast start bonuses right out of the gate of your business. Those are paid weekly to you, 20% on the people you personally enroll, and then 10 and 5% on those underneath. Future classes get booked on your calendar. So this keeps your business going. It helps set you up for success, and it really helps you duplicate and scale because then, again, you can turn around and teach others to do what you just did. So in closing, I want to give you a few action steps. Every time we meet together over the next several weeks, we're going to have some weekly action steps that I want you to plug into and to carry out. So step 1, I want you to choose your week to start. What is the week that you're launching? Is it the first of the month? What is that week? I would recommend that because we're at the end of a month. Let's start right out of the gate at the beginning of the month. Make your list of 100 names, star them, and score them, as we already talked about. Then I want you to take it a step further. Don't just say I'm starting this week. I want you to go ahead and identify your jumpstart week. schedule those 4 classes. Go back and watch this recording and look at how that was structured. Those 4 classes could be like a morning and an evening, and a morning and an evening. It could be spread out over 3 days, morning, evening, 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 however you want to do it. But identify your Jumpstart Week. Go ahead and schedule those classes where you find a chunk of time that you can invest to maximize your time, and do that by the end of this week. Get in and get that scheduled, and then let your leader know what you're thinking. And then get your product in. You're going to start, the next thing that we're going to start doing here with you is we're going to start talking to people, and we're going to show you what that conversation sounds like. We're going to show you some do's and don'ts, and then we're going to start sampling. We're going to go on a sampling blitz to really launch your business. And so you want to make sure you have sample vials. You want to make sure that you have some product that you can sample. If you need some help with that, or you need some direction about where to get some things, please don't sit there in your home and not know where to go. Reach out to somebody. Reach out on the Elevate Team Training page. Reach out, or our team page. Reach out to somebody, or reach up, and somebody will show you what to do. Okay, if you already have leaders, I want you to find 3 of those leaders that you have, or reach down. If your frontline leaders are not at a place to do this, reach down and find 3 leaders that you can help jumpstart. Maybe if you're listening, you need to redo this step. Maybe you never did Elite in 6 weeks, and you need to redo this yourself this next month, and find 3 people to do it with you and get it on your calendars. All 4 of you would have it on your calendars. So yourself and 3 other people have it on your calendars by the end of this week, so that you're coming out of the gate doing this together with them. And then some last resources that you're going to have at your fingertips. Obviously, sharesuccess.com. All of the gates that I showed you are on there. All of the training and the tools is on there. You can download the digital formats right now. doTERRA.com, also, you can go there, you can order. doTERRA Tools is another one. So if you just even Google, I think it's just doTERRATools.com, you can Google and find some different tools as well. Keep it simple, guys. You can get lost in tools. You can get lost in training. That is why I showed you the main tools we use. The main tools I use on a daily basis, if I showed you my office right now, you'd see Natural Solutions class guides. You would see Live guides, Share, Build, and Launch guides. And then I have a few of like the Premier and the Silver to help people that want to level up and go to that next level. And that's it. I've got Essential Life books, Mini Essential Life books, and A to Z guides. Those are my tools that I run my business with. We have built all the way to Blue Diamond. We did it in 7 months with those tools. So guys, you can do this. Keep it simple. Don't get lost in all of this stuff. There's an incredible YouTube channel, as I mentioned, with some great videos. And then the last thing that we want you to do as soon as you hop off here is go ask to join the Elite Training Group, or have the person that invited you add you to that group. This group was created by one of our leaders, and it's what all of our leaders are going to be using to help plug people month by month into this amazing Elite and 4 weeks run that we're doing. So you're going to get weekly tips. You don't want to miss out. You're going to have some more videos in there that actually come out this week. We gave you the overview. We've given you some action steps, but we want to get you in motion with the things that are going to be the most income producing for you. And we're going to do some of those videos for you this week. You're going to be hearing from other team leaders. We want you to stay active and involved. So somebody who's excellent at this is like Ashley McDonald does an incredible job of, she'll post questions and she'll do some really cool things. When you see those things pop up, Ashley has built a very successful business and has been in this for probably almost 5 years now, and has seen for herself even the value of accountability in doing this together. So when we post a question, it's there for us as leaders too. We're alongside of you doing this with you. She's on the road right now in Diamond Club. I'm telling you, we were texting late last night, like looking at her schedule. If you want to know somebody that's launching and launching and launching and doing this system, she's one of them. Faith Hill just finished. Becky Farrant was also on the road in Diamond Club. Bonnie's done this. Tina's done this. She's in Diamond Club doing this right now. All of our leaders, and Nathan and I, if you saw our schedules for October, Nathan's in prog right now. I've got back-to-back classes that I'm launching. So we are in this with you. So when you see those questions, stay active, stay involved with us, because we're asking them because we're doing it. So we want you to participate. It's an awesome form of accountability for you each week. Okay, so You're going to be able to access this recording. You can go back to this. You can review this. Stay tuned for more. This is your roadmap with all the 5 gates, the things, knowing the type of people to identify, as well as Elite in 6 Weeks training. So you've seen success simplified. We've tried to simplify this down and give you the roadmap that you need to be successful coming right out, and I'm excited to jump into this journey with you. We're going to have so many of you at the end of this finish line that are Elite in 6 weeks, Elite in 5 weeks, Elite in 4 weeks. I am so excited to celebrate with you. All right, guys, have a great day, and we're going to stay connected and talk soon. Thank you guys for joining.